Hello everyone and welcome back to the Belgian Beer Brothers channel. Cedric here with another brew review. I think, as I said in my previous video, that shorty or that quickie post NL kind of screwed me sideways. And to make up for that, I did get the backup solution, the Brussels Beer Project Advent Calendar. So without further ado, let's see what is behind door number 1. Now they did use a new design and they didn't make it any easier on us. As you guys can see here on the postcards, this was the previous design. But it had a bit more contrast, so the numbers were a bit easier to find. So this time, not so much. Ooh, I'm gonna have to get up for that. I see a bottle, I see a BBP bottle cap, and I see blue and green. Could this be Grosberta? No, because that's blue and silver, I think. Lazy Panda, okay. Actually, I have read about this beer already, which is funny because I think I bought it in the store 2 weeks ago, but I haven't tasted it yet, so I am still quite curious. Actually, I should have known better than to buy Brussels Beer Project beers before starting the Advent Calendar, but on the other hand, I wasn't planning on doing this one. Lazy Panda, Brussels Beer Project, alcohol 4.9% ABV, regenerative session blonde, 33 centiliters. Now, right off the bat, I have one remark. I do see more and more breweries, even though the low alcohol beers and the no alcoholic beers are gaining in popularity. I do see more and more breweries calling their 4.5%, 5%, even 6% beers session, whereas session used to be reserved for lower alcoholic beers like a 2.7, a 3.5. So if we're gonna call 5 and 6% beers session, that might mix things up for people. And even though I am one to say read the fucking manual, or in this case read the fucking label, yeah, if you're not paying attention and you still have to drive, you'll get 3 of these instead of 1. Who knows where that might end up. Nonetheless, so guys, be careful with that. Always read your labels. Positive Belgian Brewery. We are an independent and collaborative brewery inspired by our home city, Brussels. We brew smashing beers and strive for positive impact on our community. Open, share and enjoy. Well, I can't share the beer, but I'm gonna share my findings with you guys. Part of the movement aiming to benefit people and the planet. Okay, brewed at Port Sud. With Lazy Panda, every day feels like a lazy Sunday, made with regenerative local barley. Okay, I'm gonna talk about that in a second. The grain bill, local Pils barley from regenerative agriculture and malted wheat. Yeast S33, but as you guys know, I am not a yeast connoisseur. And Belgian hops, Magnum, Mercure and Sorachi Ace. Now, what I did read about this beer is that they indeed used local sourced hops, Belgian grown hops. I didn't know it was a Magnum, Mercure and Sorachi Ace. Now, I do think that that's quite fruity, not a lot of bitterness in there, but quite fruity, grassy, and maybe a bit citrusy, so we'll see about that. And local Pils barley from regenerative agriculture. I did read that they use 85% barley out of that regenerative agricultural model just outside Brussels, which is interesting, of course. It's a lot more sustainable that way. And malted wheat, that means a lot more protein and a fuller, denser mouthfeel. So let's see what this does. First off, a glass. For some reason I can't find my Brussels Beer Project tulip glass, which I find worrisome because I like that glass and it was an expensive one as well. So now you did see me swirl the bottle a little bit, and that is because of course all the bottles and cans and whatnot are stored lying down in this box, in this calendar. So I did get a residue trail here, and I wanted to mix that into the beer because I like that in the beer, especially in pale beers like this. Now, I've always wondered why Brussels Beer Project sells 25 centiliter glasses and only 33 centiliter bottles and cans, but that might be food for thought for another video. Okay, so what do we see here? It is rather pale. It actually even resembles a Weizen, but it only has like 15% wheat, so it's not a Weizen. Nonetheless, it is very pale. It has a very nice pale yellowish color, lovely white foam, quite dense foam as well. A lot of activity in the beer, a lot of bubbles, which we like, of course. Rather hazy. Now, I did tell you there was some residue in the bottle, and I did swirl it all in, so nothing unexpected here. I keep loving that glass with the wavy accent, very simple. Yeah, that is indeed as expected. Very tropical, very fruity, very grassy. Also quite malty, slightly bitter, and I expected a bit of citrus, but I don't really get that out of the scent, so. Okay, let's have a taste. Cheers. Oh wow. The scent and the taste are quite different. So in the fragrance, in the scent, I get a lot more fruitiness. I get a lot more hoppiness, but not in that bitter way. The taste, on the other hand, is quite bitter. It is rather dry. I absolutely like it, but still quite fruity, but in a different way. Also very malty, a bit bready even. Well, they do call it a session blonde and not an IPA, so I may have been fixated on the hops a bit too much, because I was gonna say I wouldn't call this an IPA. This tastes like a fantastic lager. Now, I'm not sure if this is a top fermented beer or a lager, and that's something that the yeast would tell us, but I am not familiar with the S33 code or any yeast for that matter. I don't know names. But this does taste like a lovely standard bitter, dry, hoppy, fruity lager, which I love, even though I do think that this is a top fermented beer, but yeah. Beautiful beer, a great start, a great opener, and an absolute thirst quencher as well. Like when it comes to the fruits, it smelled quite fruity, but the fruitiness in the taste is very different. I do get some yellow grapefruit, some pomelo maybe, but no tropical fruit at all, and that is actually a very nice change. But of course we already knew that Brussels Beer Project can brew, so. Okay, absolutely lovely, a well brewed beer, very well rounded, very in balance. I love the contrast between the nose and the mouthfeel. The mouthfeel, by the way, which is very rich and full. We also get a very long lasting aftertaste, quite bitter as well, like I said, very thirst quenching, rather dry. So this is a beer actually right up my alley. Let's get that all in there. Okay, great start of this season, great start of this advent calendar. And if we think that the only way is up, yeah, let's just go for it then. Yeah. Okay, so let's start with a good positive score of let's call this a 3.5, maybe even a 3.75, because I'm actually very impressed, and I think that I am underappreciating this beer because, of course, this is a bit warmer than I would like it to be. I'm not gonna put this box in the fridge. I'm not cheating either. I am not getting the beers out and put them in cooled or anything. You would see some condensation here. Actually, I wish I thought of that before, but hey. Now, on the other hand, you guys will probably see some cuts in these videos as for me to research the beers after I take them out of the box. But that is a whole other story. Okay, that was it, guys. Great start. I will see you guys again tomorrow, December 2nd, for our next beer. And I hope that's not a BBP one, because BBP did promise, after last year being a bit disappointing, that they have worked together again with 8 different breweries. So, yeah, very excited about that. Cheers.